This recording didn't just break a marriage, it broke a business model. Beyond the leaked videos and the Reddit threads lies a much bigger story. I'm going to show you the internal memos, the deleted archives, and the brutal reality of what happens when your family-first brand meets a personal mistake reality. By the end of this, you'll understand why the most successful real estate marketing machine in Singapore history was actually designed to self-destruct. Property Lim Brothers isn't actually a real estate agency. It's a media machine that sells trust as a product. Over the last decade, Melvin Lim built a wholesomeness moat. He created a brand so tied to family values that his personal life was his biggest business asset. But there's a fatal flaw in that model. When your face is the product, a personal mistake isn't just a private matter. It's a product recall. Imagine doing everything right and still losing it all in a single afternoon. If you think this is just a story about an affair, you've already missed the point. For years, the formula was simple: high-production home tours, uplifting music, a focus on finding a home for your family to grow in. While other agents were selling square footage, Melvin Lim was selling an ideal. He was the godly, wholesome family man. He wasn't just an agent, he was a moral compass in a cutthroat industry. But in Singapore, wholesome is a currency, and it's a high-interest loan. The more you use your family to sell houses, the more you owe the public in moral perfection. This is the Wholesomeness Tax. And in January 2026, the taxman came to collect. The videos that surfaced on January 19th didn't just show two people leaving an office. They showed the destruction of a multi-million-dollar insurance policy. When sounds resembling moans were heard from behind that closed door, it didn't just signal an affair. It signaled a breach of contract with every viewer who had bought into the PLB dream. But the real story isn't the video. It's the erasure. If you went to the Property Lim Brothers website on January 26th, you saw a powerhouse leadership team. By January 27th, it looked like a witness protection program. Profiles deleted, LinkedIn accounts nuked. Grayce, a vice president with 191,000 followers, vanished from the corporate hierarchy in a heartbeat. This is what a brand suicide looks like in real time. But why the rush to delete? Most people assume it's shame. People who understand branding know it's actually something much more desperate. They didn't just remove names. They tried to delete the reality of the last 4 years. But while the web developers were scrubbing the site, the receipts were already moving through Telegram. The first payoff is the leaked memo. It wasn't a corporate press release. It was a raw admission. Melvin Lim didn't hide behind a lawyer. He sent a message to his entire team, admitting he made a personal mistake and crossed boundaries. "This situation is mine to own," he wrote. But you can't own a mistake when your face is the company logo. If you skip the next section, you won't understand why the company's survival actually depends on Melvin Lim's total disappearance. Imagine being a homeowner with a $5 million listing under PLB right now. You didn't just hire an agent, you hired the family man. You paid for that wholesome image to be draped over your property. Now, that image is a liability. Your biggest financial asset is tied to a viral thread about a locked office door. Melvin Lim spent a decade opening doors for families on camera, only to be caught locking one in an office corridor. The irony is staggering. A brand built on 3D transparency and nothing to hide, Home Tours was brought to its knees by a 15-second clip of a closed door. Now, the company is attempting a brand amputation. They want you to believe the property can survive without the brothers. They've limited the comments. They've gone silent. They are betting that if they stop talking, you'll forget who was behind that door. But the internet doesn't forget. And the Council for Estate Agencies doesn't just look at sales figures. they look at fit and proper criteria. This isn't just a career on the line. It's a professional execution. In Singapore, a real estate license isn't just a piece of paper. It's a certificate of character. The Council for Estate Agencies, or CEA, governs every agent with a rulebook that doesn't care about your follower count. They call it the fit and proper criteria. This sounds like a vague moral guideline, but it's actually a professional death sentence. Most agents think that as long as they don't steal a client's deposit, they are safe. They're wrong. The CEA Code of Ethics specifically demands that agents conduct themselves in a way that does not bring discredit to the industry. It's an umbrella term for a moral high bar. When a chief executive officer and his vice president are seen not in a boardroom, but in a compromising corridor, it doesn't just damage the brand. It triggers a regulatory alarm. If the CEA determines that an agent has failed the fit and proper test, they don't just give you a warning. They can suspend or revoke your license. Imagine the property Lim brothers without a license to sell property. This is the hidden crisis happening behind the scenes. While the PR team is busy scrubbing Instagram photos, the legal team is likely sweating over the professional service manual. If Melvin Lim and Grayce are stripped of their licenses, the company doesn't just lose its leaders, it loses its legal right to operate in their name. But what happens to the hundreds of listings currently live? If you're a seller, this is where the story gets terrifying. To save the business, they had to remove the people. But the business is literally named after the people. By erasing Melvin and Grayce from the website, PLB is effectively trying to sanitize the license. They are attempting to move the listings to other agents within the firm to protect the client's interests. But it creates a hollow empire. It's like a high-end restaurant where the celebrity chef is banned from the kitchen, but they still want you to pay for his signature dish. But there is a darker layer to this amputation. Think about Grayce Tan. With 191,000 followers, she was the ultimate influencer agent. She proved that you could sell luxury condos through aesthetic lifestyle content. But that same lifestyle content is now the weapon being used against her. Every perfect photo she ever posted is now being re-examined through the lens of the scandal. This is the identity loop in its most brutal form. People who followed her for her success story now feel like they were watching a curated lie. They didn't just follow an agent. They followed an aspiration. When that aspiration breaks, the reaction isn't just disappointment, it's anger. The dopamine of the gossip is starting to turn into the controlled pain of realization. The public isn't just angry that they cheated. They're angry that the brand of perfection was a marketing script. And that brings us to the most dangerous part of the survival playbook: the silence as a strategy. By limiting comments and turning off the personality, PLB is hoping for the news cycle reset. They are betting that in 2 months, you'll be more interested in a new penthouse tour than a leaked office video. But they're forgetting one thing. In the age of digital archives, silence isn't an answer, it's a placeholder. Every day they stay silent, the wholesomeness tax continues to compound. Forget the business metrics for a moment. Think about the human wreckage. What if the silence isn't a choice? What if the stepping down isn't a temporary break, but a permanent exit forced by the internal stakeholders who realized the brand was no longer fit and proper? But beneath the legal threats and the corporate cleanup lies a much darker reality. A brand built on the image of a family man doesn't just hurt its shareholders when it fails. It hurts the people who were used as the marketing material. Melvin Lim has 4 children. He has a wife. For years, they weren't just his family, they were his social proof. Every family photo, every mention of building a legacy for the kids, was a brick in the wholesomeness moat. Imagine being the spouse of a man whose face is synonymous with trust, only to watch that trust vanish on a Reddit thread. The betrayal isn't just personal, it's public. In the age of viral videos, the family doesn't get to grieve in private. They have to watch as their private tragedy is used as a case study for brand suicide. This is the hidden wholesomeness tax. When you profit off the image of a happy home, your family pays the price when that home is revealed to be a facade. And then there is the leaked memo. In it, Melvin writes, "I've addressed this responsibly with my family, and am taking time now to focus on restoring and protecting my family." But look at the wording. Restoring and protecting. It sounds noble. It sounds responsible. But it's also a tactical retreat. By framing his exit as a family-first move, he is attempting to use the very thing he broke his family as a shield to stop the public's questions. It's the ultimate identity loop. He is trying to use the family man persona to save himself from the consequences of failing as a family man. But can you protect a family while the videos are still live? Can you restore a home while your business partners are busy deleting your name from the website to save themselves? This is the brutal reality of the personal mistake. In a traditional business, an affair is a private crisis. In a personality brand, it is a total system failure. And it's not just Melvin. Grayce is also married. The betrayal ripples outward, affecting 2 families, multiple children, and an entire network of employees who believed in the PLB way. People who understand storytelling know that every story needs a villain. But in this case, the viewers are finding something much more painful. The victims. The wives and children who never asked to be part of a wholesomeness moat, but are now drowning in the fallout. The public's anger isn't just about the act. It's about the hypocrisy. It's about the fact that while they were filming trust and transparency, they were allegedly locking doors and crossing boundaries. Now, the Family First brand is in a race against time. They are trying to move past the scandal before the betrayal becomes the only thing people remember. But as we're about to see, the internet has a very long memory. And the industry is already moving on to a new model. One where the face of the company is no longer the biggest risk. This sounds like a localized scandal, but it's actually a warning for the entire global creator economy. This brings us to the ultimate question. Can a business built on a personality survive when the personality is erased? We are witnessing the death of the influencer CEO model in real time. For a decade, the personal brand was the gold standard. We were told that people buy from people, not companies. But Property Lim Brothers has just exposed the fatal flaw in that logic. When your brand is a person, your brand is a hostage to that person's humanity. The brand amputation we're seeing, the deleted profiles, the silenced comments, the scrubbed bios, is a desperate attempt to turn back the clock. PLB is trying to become a faceless corporate entity because faceless is safe. A logo doesn't make a personal mistake. A website doesn't cross boundaries. But the identity loop is hard to break. The viewers who subscribed for the high-energy home tours and the Lim Brothers banter are now left with a sterilized version of a brand they used to trust. They came for the connection. They're being asked to stay for the service. This is the controlled pain of the ending. You want things to go back to how they were, but you know they never will. If PLB survives, it will survive as a ghost of its former self. It will be a company that sells property, but it will never again be the company that sells the good life. The wholesomeness moat hasn't just been breached, it's been drained. So what is the final payoff? The missing piece that finally clicks into place is this. This scandal wasn't an accident. It was an inevitability. When you commoditize your private life for public gain, you lose the right to a private failure. The very tools that built the empire, the cameras, the social media reach, the parasocial intimacy, are the same tools that broadcast the downfall to 191,000 people in a single afternoon. The house is still standing, the listings are still live, but the lights are out. Now you understand why the Wholesome brand is the most dangerous one to build. And why, in the world of the influencer CEO, the most expensive thing you can ever own is a secret. In the age of digital forensics and fit and proper ethics, there is no such thing as a closed door. Because even if you lock it, the world is already inside. This marks the end of an era. The question isn't who is next, it's who is left. Because after this, we won't just look at real estate agents differently. We'll look at the perfect lives on our screens and wonder, what's happening behind the door? They just locked?